Hey guys, welcome to Command Launch. We are over a week away, a little over a week away from Battle for Zendikar pre-release, and as usual, I'm excited. So usually when I get excited, I make a video on tips on the upcoming pre-release. So this is the tips on Battle for Zendikar. This is for newer players and for players that are just play a lot and looking for value and stuff like that. I mean, I don't really have a bunch of value cards to look after in this set. I think just grab up mythics and the planeswalkers and sell them off, because right now this is just, when I saw this set, I didn't see a lot of crazy value cards, but I saw a lot of cool cards that I would like to play with, like limited and kind of constructed play, well, mostly commander play, but whatever, I'm getting a little off topic. So okay, so the pre-release that's coming, Battle for Zendikar, the format's kind of changing because we're no longer getting a seeded pack. We're going to be getting six, so it's not really format changing, it's still sealed, but we're getting just 6 packs of Battle for Zendikar, and we're building a deck with that, which I believe that's what we're doing. And that's awesome. I really like that because it definitely gives you variance when you play. I mean, it's going to be harder for some of the newer players because I think that seeded pack definitely helped people play the colors that they want to when they were starting out and stuff like that. But I honestly think this is kind of a push to those new players to kind of get them building a little better, because you can't, especially going into draft, you can't always build the colors you want. I think the most drafted color I draft is the color I hate the most. I'm always drafting blue cards because it feels like in my draft pods, it's just always open. Nobody's picking blue. Everybody hates blue in my pod, I think. So, I feel like I just get all the blue cards past me. So I'm like, sure, I hate this color, but I can't say no to claustrophobia. I can't say no to another one. So yeah, sorry, get a little off topic. So Battle for Zendikar, getting 6 booster packs, building a sealed deck with it. And I actually have some, I looked over the whole set, and I saw some, I have some tips for it. I have some kind of archetypes or strategies I saw throughout the set that might help you guys build, a deck that you might want to play, or kind of give you a better strategy when you're playing at the pre-release. So yeah, let's get into it. We have white-blue. We have white-blue Awaken, which is, that's the only ability I feel like might be broken and limited, because there isn't a ton of way. In this, there's a little bit more ways to destroy lands in this set, but usually it's not usually a thing that we do in Magic, is destroy lands, unless our deck's built around that. So it's going to be interesting because Awaken is value in a card, because a lot of those cards you can actually count as, like, if you're playing a control deck, you can actually count all those spells as kind of creatures in the late game. Like, they scale really well, and that's exactly what sealed wants. Limited games want that. They want a card that you can use early and late game. And being able to just use it late game and make a creature out of your land, that's value. And that might be it might be broken. But for the most part, this set feels so balanced. Like, it feels like you can do so much with it. Like, let's just say for white-blue, you can either do, like, Control Awaken, or you can do, like, more of a Tempo Flyers, which, of course, white-blue's always been known for Flyers. I mean, crap, you can even have an Awaken Flyers deck, because there's that one blue card that it says, like, all land creatures have flying. Like, it turns all your Awakens into flying Awakens. It's nuts. Alright, so next we have blue-black, which is Ingest Processor, I call it. Yes, Ingest. I think you're not really going to go the mill route with Ingest unless you have that big, bomby Dimir 6-drop that keeps on milling for 2 or something like that. I forgot what it does. But you're going to be synergizing black and blue with Ingest and Processors. In the Processors, you have black removal, you have the blue bounce, Eldrazi. You got all kinds of value with Processors in blue and black. So, yeah, it's definitely a good route to go. Another one I put on here, and it's going to be very common with a lot of different colors. Like, there's a lot of times where you're not going to be hitting the kind of archetypes that you want, and you're just going to be sitting back on just like a colorless horde deck almost, because there's all the colors feel like that they make so many 1/1 scions. It's nuts. And that's really good in this, with all the backup that they have to pump and stuff. It's nuts. So yeah, I put colorless horde for blue-black. It's not really a a blue-black feeling to, like a feeling of a deck. Usually it's all shenanigans with milling and real controllers, but this can, with all the blue cards, you have a lot of like Eldrazi that will pump your colorless creatures, whether it's give it a bigger butt or give it a bigger attack power. You have you just have so many ways of making Scions too. Like, it's crazy. Blue's been making a lot of tokens lately, which is weird. But yeah, I think colorless horde might be a thing for Dimir. Yeah, you guys gotta let me know if you think I'm wrong, or if you look at it and go, oh my god, it's weird. But next we have green red, and this one's an easy one. This is just landfall, green red landfall, just big stompy guy. Just comes out quick and just gets values off of all the lands. Usually these are the decks that you're going to be maybe putting in 18 lands instead of 17 lands in your sealed deck. So yeah, that's what I got for green red. And then we have black white. I think there's a big vampire synergy with black white, so I'm putting vampire lifelink because there's a lot of shenanigans you can do with gaining life with vampires and pumping them up and sacrifice, all kinds of stuff. Just vampire synergy seems solid. It makes you feel like, it always feels like black white spirits almost with how synergistic those colors are. Even though, what's up with the core, man? They're not doing anything with artifacts, and plus there's not really any crazy good artifacts to begin with. Well, equipment artifacts. I thought that was real weird with the core. It just seems like the cores are there to kind of hold up the vampires and be like, I'll let you gain life, or I'll rally up these allies. It doesn't feel like core is doing too much. So I put that, and I also put like a flying aggro deck, since there's a lot of flying in black and white, a lot of aggressive, a lot of aggro in black and white. So that's another thing you can build from black and white. So now we go into green-white, and we have green-white allies. There are a lot of good allies in green-white. I mean, you can kind of go into a mix of that with landfall and stuff like that. And I also put colorless horde. Anything with green feels like colorless horde. Like, especially if you get that awakening zone that spits out scions for 1 extra mana. Like, that card's nuts. There's just so many ways to make, especially in green. You can make a ton of scions, and it feels like it's gonna go. These matches, these sealed games are gonna go wide. Especially with how the removal is. Like, the removal's pretty solid, though. I really do like the removal. The removal feels like it depends on the color you're in, and that's why I feel like it's so balanced. But for the most part, aggro is going to have exactly what they want. Control's definitely going to have what they want. Control's going to be really good. It has to be, though, because of all the crazy big fatty Eldrazi's that are coming out. Like, you gotta have a way to answer those things. So yeah. So anyways, getting a little off topic. Sorry. Green, white. I said allies, and once again, colorless horde. There's with green especially, and green and white's the same way. There's a lot of different types of like quick anthem effects and like almost like an overrun effect. They have stuff like that in there. So you go wide with your scions and just hawk smash them in. So yeah. Next we have green black, and green black I was kind of confused about with building wise on a kind of deck. Like, I did see, you got the colorless horde, that of course you can do because of grain and stuff, but it almost feels like it's going to be more of like you can do like more of a tempo kind of thing, or it could be even more control. You can make it more controlling and make sure your landfall gets there with all the answers with black has, with destroying stuff. So I had that, and I also had, I think there might be a way you might be able to squeeze in a vampire life gain kind of synergy with it, because there are a lot. There's a couple good ways to gain life with green that can kind of piggyback off of all the cool vampires you've got with synergies with it. So next we go into red white, and for red white I put allies. There's a lot of real bomby allies in red white. It just seems solid, and it's of course it's going to be aggro regardless. It's either going to be aggro allies or just aggro that you're going to be playing with Boros, which is red white. So now we go into red blue, and red blue I was a little confused about also. I just put aggro also. It can be aggro, it could be control, because there's a lot of good removal and permission in both red and blue. And there's a lot of quick starts with red and blue. You're not used to quick starts with blue. There's a lot of token makers, and red's got the burn and all that stuff, and the active trees in effect. It seems pretty good. I mean, there's that one spot where it says, we can make it aggro or control, and they have that one red blue card that's like make all your colorless spells cost 1 less. If you have multiple, that's pretty good. But I think it helps no matter what, whether you're playing control or aggro, it's going to be great because it's going to get those Eldrazi out quicker. So it's aggro or control Eldrazi, I guess you can call it. So next we go into green-blue, and I put kind of landfall because I don't think it really focuses on landfall when it's green-blue. I think it mainly looks into Eldrazi control, and that is just, controlling everything, just getting fat stuff out real quick. And then we have red-black. I mean, red-black's aggro. I mean, like, the first Eldrazi that they showed was like a 3/2 that you, like, for 2, that you pay 1 to give haste, and you're just like, yeah, red-black's going to be pretty quick, so red-black's real quick. And then we have some 3-color. I'm not usually a fan of 3 colors, but I feel like this is probably the best set for multicolors because of Awakening, Converge, and what's that called? And the Eldrazi itself. The Eldrazi is just like, okay, you can just have a bunch of colorless. It's fine if I don't hit my blue yet if I'm just casting a whole bunch of Eldrazi. So these are my 3 colors. I only picked 2 of them because they were the only ones that seemed like they could be solid. And the first one is Naya Allies, like white, green, red, best allies. You have the best allies in the colors of Naya. I think it's going to be probably one of the easiest 3-color aggressive decks to get going. Just make sure you're heavy in green so you can put out those elves that kind of tap for any colored mana. Just make sure it's leaning on green because that's gonna get your engine going to kind of fix your mana. And it's pretty much anything green, because green's the only color that's going to get you there to get to those multiple colors. So you got to make sure, regardless of these multiple colors you pick from to play, strategy-wise, make sure it's leaning on green. And then we also have Abzan, Vampire's Life Gain. Like I told you, Black-White's going to be the original Vampire's Life Gain, but I told you there's some good green cards to do it. I mean, this one I'm not too positive about. I think this one would really be like if you draft it bad, or if you open bad and it's real up against it, but you still see like some synergies. Like you don't have enough gain life in white, you got to bring some green in and kind of try to make it work with vampires. So that's what I got for that. I could be wrong about that, but we'll see. I think a solid kind of build is 5-color, just like 5-color control. And you guys might think it's mainly because of Converge. It isn't. Like, I honestly think the reason why 5-color is so solid is not only the Eldrazi, not only all the colorless spells you can play in your 5-color deck, but it's also because of Awakening. And what I mean by this is that, first off, like I told you before, they can count as early game spells, but then late game they turn into a spell and a creature, which, everybody loves that. So you put in a whole bunch of kind of control spells, Awakening spells, like in, black, the destroy stuff, blue, draw or bounce, and all that, all that stuff. And then you can count them as creatures too, because, you can awaken them late game. Just make sure to put them into account that it's going to be a late game creature. And then the craziest thing about it is that even if you don't hit your color yet, it's cool because you'll have like another control card in the color that you have, and you got to build it right. You got to build it perfectly, of course. But I think Awakening is the reason why 5-color might be really, really good. Of course, the Eldrazi is the backup. It's a huge backup. Being able to play colorless spells for days is awesome in a 5-color deck, and Converge is also great just for getting maximum value out of your Converge spells. So I think 5-color is going to be a thing, and it's definitely going to be a control deck. There are allies in 5 colors, but I don't think it's there yet. I think maybe next set that comes out, it's going to push more towards 5-color allies. I just think it's too wonky. It's not quick enough. Like, it could happen. I just don't think it's quick enough. So yeah, that's what I have for the archetypes and strategies you can go for. So yeah, let me know if you guys agree with it. If you guys think I'm wrong, just let me know in the comments below. And I got a couple of like highlight cards that I was thinking of. And first one is best removal is Grip of Desolation. I'm sorry I don't have a card out next to me or something. Just if you guys can pause it and look it up, but I'll explain to you. It's I think it's 6 mana, 2 black, and 4 colorless for exile target creature and exile target land. It's both. Like, even though it's 6 mana, it does both. Like it's not, it's a main deck in your deck's playing black, and it also is like an automatic like sideboard against the Awakening matchup, which is hilarious. And I also think another card that's gonna pop up and go crazy is a red card, and it's called Turn Against, and it's honestly it's active treason for like 1 more mana cost. And I think it's just great against those decks that like the green blue decks that are going to be going like kind of put all their eggs in their basket, sacrifice all their scions, and get like a big Eldrazi out as quick as possible, because then you can be like, okay, cool, I'll take that. You know, you go real fast, go wide, then he finally tries to stabilize, and you just take it and win with it. So that's another shout out. And I think another huge shout out is for the sideboards. In the pre-release, make sure you guys have your land destruction ready for the Awakening matchup. Land destruction has never been, I don't think it's ever been as important as it is now in Limited. So make sure you have them in your sideboards ready for the Awakening matchup, because I think that might be, if there's overpoweredness in this set, it would have to do with Awakening, I feel. So yeah. So now I usually go over what to bring to pre-release. Usually I bring my trade binder. Don't bring your whole collection. It might be a lot to carry for some of you. So just bring the stuff you're willing to trade with people. And yeah, usually I bring, usually in the morning I eat breakfast, get ready. It's a long day usually, so you gotta get prepared, mentally prepared for that, and physically prepared, I guess, because it can take a lot out of you, you know. Most of the times I'm coming back with a headache, but I'm happy, so it's all good. But yeah, make sure you eat good, you're ready. Usually I bring a pen and paper to keep track of life totals and stuff, because I don't usually like doing dice and stuff, and usually I like keeping track of other people just in case if like they mess up, or just it's just so we can go over each other's scores just in case. I think it's worth it. Another thing you guys should bring is sleeves, just to protect your money cards. I think it's always good to play with sleeves. So bring that. Make sure you bring, if you have a commander deck, bring your commander deck. Come an hour early than usual. There's usually people playing commander before the tournaments start. I think that's where I used to get my most playing commander, but now I pretty much go every other Tuesday to play now. So yeah. Hopefully this video helped some of you guys. Yeah, so the new set looks awesome. It seems fun. Pre-release is just great. If this is your first time, it won't be your last once you go. It's a ton of fun. You meet new people, you do some trading, play some commander, hopefully get a good pool of cards, and maybe make some. I mean, it's not crazy competitive when you play pre-release, and that's the best part about it, is that people will kind of work with you. You'll have some of those people where you're just like, you make this game not fun, but you're gonna get that everywhere. So hopefully just keep your head up if that happens, and just they'll be nice. There's always gonna be somebody else to play with, and there's gonna be a nicer person. So sorry, rambling a little bit. Just hope you guys have a great time. Let me know if this helped. Let me know if you disagree with anything I say, and like, favorite, and subscribe, and blah blah blah.